And now, ladies and gentlemen, for your viewing pleasure, please sit back and relax and enjoy the Intermission Show. Tonight's guests from Boston, Corey Dolan. Joining us from Shadyside here in Pittsburgh, Frankie Wasik. And from the Hazelwood neighborhood, Jon Ward. Finally, from a fine residential community, this is the Intermission Show with your host, Joey Deasy.
Hey guys, welcome to the show. This is the very first episode of the Intermission Show. First off, thanks for coming. This is the first time I'm doing this. I did dress up. I did put pants on today. So we'll see how it goes. If there are any glitches, please don't be mad at me. You don't have a choice. But let's give it a whirl. We got some very cool guests lined up for tonight. So we will see what they got to say. Just a few house notes as we get started. You know, everyone's been asking me since I posted this morning, like, why are you doing this? Well, first off, I got all the gear here. I'm a tech guru, so I wanted to do this. And I want to invite some friends on. So it was really simple as that. But I laid some points out when I was making this show. And what I wanted to do was check it out. And here goes some of the points I came up with. So one of the reasons why I started this show is to provide some entertainment while people are at home, and to bring awareness to businesses that are open and give some spotlight to businesses that will be open soon. Some of the guests I have lined up are entrepreneurs and business owners, service industry friends, musicians, and more. Topics I would like to talk about are small business, music, live shows, movies, and entertainment. That being said, if you want to be on the show, shoot me a message. So like I said, we got some good people lined up. We'll give you a quick little tour of the studio. Let's see if we can pull it up. There it is. So we got cameras on cameras. If you could see right here, this is where I'm going to be having people call in either via FaceTime or Skype, and these are how my guests are going to be on the show. Right here, I got all my cue cards and notes for the show. This is actually what's going out to the internet. This is a lava lamp. It's necessary for all radio shows and TV shows. We got turntables. Obviously, this all comes from when I was working with PDC on his stream. We did that last Friday. I got to DJ for a little bit and have some fun. And got the turntables. We got some lights that we could change. We got a little cue board right here. So we got some cool things. So you might be asking yourself, where did I get the name for the show? And I will tell you exactly where I got the name from the show. Obviously, everyone's locked inside. And I saw this photo on Instagram not too long ago, kind of when all this stuff started going down. And I'm going to show you the photo real quick. This is actually a photo from Dave DiCello, however you pronounce his last name. He's a legend in Pittsburgh. He takes photos of the storms and the skylines and various stuff. So he put this photo together, so I gave him credit. And it's kind of, to me, this is what sums up everything that's going on right now. We're kind of just on hold. It's an intermission, and I said, what a better name for a show than an intermission? So that's where we got the name from the show. Let's see, what else do we have lined up for you? We got some really good surprises. One that actually just got delivered to my house. There was a knock on my door and a box sitting there. It says, "Don't open to the show." I think I have a guess on who sent it, but we're going to open it on stream, live on the air when we're with that guest later. So speaking of guests, without further ado, I want to get into my first guest. His name is Corey Dolan, and I've known him for a long time of my life. So I want to say now it's time for our first guest of the show, Corey Dolan. He's a longtime friend of mine from Central Catholic. Dolan and Deasy, both D's. So as fortune, we sat next to each other in freshman year in homeroom. And I started my first business with him in high school, selling t-shirts. Now he is up in Boston working for a startup which recently acquired Philips. Was recently acquired by Philips. So without further ado, please welcome to the show. We have Corey Dolan with us. Corey, how are you?
I'm doing good. Happy to be here. Got my fanciest house coat on for you. Also, you may notice
I got you all
not
dressed
in my tiny apartment in Boston, but I got to give a quick shout out to the Tringus family, some of Sophie's cousins who've been kind enough to take us in. Otherwise, I'm sure Sophie would have killed me by now being in our tiny little apartment downtown Boston.
That's awesome, man. Well, thanks for coming, and thanks for being on the show. It's kind of ironic. You're the first guest, first business I started with you. You know, it just something about it seems right.
Yeah.
So without further ado, you are working a new job from home, and building relationships and developing businesses are key to your successes in your role. How has this changed with everything shifting to the virtual world?
It's actually been pretty good. Just before all this went down, I transferred from a more technical R&D role, and now I'm into a new group, as you mentioned, recently acquired. So part of what I'm doing is effectively still working within a startup. What we're trying to do is to help hospitals engage with patients via text and email messaging. Obviously, with all the COVID information overload and fake news, it's more important now than ever to have clear communication between healthcare providers and their patients. So as a new company, as you mentioned, trying to build relationships and grow our business, it's definitely tough to do that virtually. There's a lot of great tools out there, but you really can't beat the in-person, face-to-face interactions that we're missing out on. But given the circumstances, people are really seeing the value in our solution, and we're working with people already to try and plan if you want to call it the return to normal or the new normal. So it's an exciting time. Things have been staying busy, which definitely feel fortunate for that, and we're adjusting as things come.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's great. You still have a job, and you said something that rang a bell, and with me, and that's meeting people in person. That's definitely probably about half the work I do: building relationships, networking, trying to get new business for our various businesses at the bank on 8th. And there's just something about it, being able to meet with somebody in person. You get to see a lot more in the negotiation stage. You get to hear inflection in people's voices. Is the deal going well? Via text, you can't really get that emotion via text. So there's something about meeting people, and weirdly enough, there's something about shaking people's hands. So hopefully we could get back to that.
For sure.
So next question for you. You've been with the company for 7 years with Philips, doing various projects. I know you had a lot of different opportunities, one of them being in China. What was it like, and did you eat bat soup?
Yeah, I've been fortunate enough to be with the same company for quite a long time, and it's given me a lot of great opportunities in a number of different avenues. Coming from an engineering degree, but also having a business background, going back to Viking country many moons ago. I had an opportunity when I was with our ultrasound group to work at our office in China, and it was an amazing opportunity. I was there in Shanghai for half a year. I'd never been to China. I didn't speak the language. I didn't know anyone there. And then sure enough, I find myself in this city of 26 million people on the other side of the world. But it took me about 4 months to figure out, how to get around, how to use chopsticks, and order a beer that was cold instead of warm. But
I didn't know that was an option.
Yeah, I'll tell you, every day was its own adventure, and there's a lot of bad stuff coming out in the news, but the people that I met were great, had a lot of great times, and made some lifelong friends over there. I didn't actually eat bat soup, but there's a saying that they have that Chinese people will eat anything with 4 legs except a table. And in many ways, that's definitely true. There's a lot of weird things being consumed. But speaking to being in person, that's part of the experience. When you come into a new culture, being able to sit down with someone and share in the food and just eat and drink whatever's kind of put in front of you, and really kind of opens yourself up to a lot of new experiences with people. So I'll definitely say to whoever's watching this, if you ever have a chance to, get into, a new culture, a foreign space, definitely take advantage of it. As you and I talk about.
Yeah, we've both been super fortunate to travel the world, and honestly, there's no comparison to traveling. I think a lot of people, especially in the United States, just get hyper-focused that the United States is the world, and there's so many cool cultures and people. I know we got some people actually tuning in from Ireland, some of my cousins that I met from over there. So big shout out to them. And like you said, there's just something about traveling.
Yeah, for sure. You and I always talk about, you're not learning, you're not growing if you're not outside your comfort zone. And I'll tell you, there's so many times that I was uncomfortable, embarrassed, and those are situations where you really learn about yourself and understand who you are in those moments. So Can't recommend it enough.
Totally agree, man. Totally agree. All right, so enough about work. You were supposed to get married in May. Unfortunately, you had to postpone this date to a later time. How's it been working with the vendors and the venue to reschedule?
Yeah, it's been tough. Obviously, a lot's been going on. Sophie and I talked about it at length with our families, and really, we just didn't think you were ready. So we figured we'd give you a few more months to work on your speech, and then,
Oh, you're talking about me not being ready.
Yeah.
I appreciate that you moved the whole wedding because of me. That really shows how deep our friendship is.
But I know with full confidence that when it comes back, you'll knock it out of the park. But all jokes aside, in times like this, everyone's health and safety is obviously our top priority.
Yeah.
What's really important for us, at the wedding, Sophie and I coming from very different backgrounds and, different places, is to bring all the amazing people that we have in our lives together. We don't want to do that until it's, safe to actually have that type of gathering. So when that will be, we're not really sure at this point, but I think there's something to be said about, coming out of quarantine. We're pretty much already married, so things are going pretty well. As far as the vendors go, everyone's been great. It's times like this that have kind of hit everyone pretty hard. We're fortunate enough for Sophie and her family to have some really good relationships personally with these vendors, and we're working with them, and they're being flexible with us given all the uncertainty. So, who knows when it will be, but at the end of the day, we're all feeling pretty blessed to have each other, to have our jobs, and to have our health. So quick shout out to all the healthcare workers and everyone working, all the essential jobs to keep things moving, and people enabling us who are fortunate enough to be able to stay at home to keep that going. But at the end of the day, we're feeling very blessed. It'll happen when it can happen, and we'll see when it is.
Yeah, like you said, coming from the DJ world myself, all these people, the way it works is you guys pay a deposit, and then you get paid typically in full at the end of the night after the gig. So all these vendors probably just have your deposits, and just like you, they want to have the event too. So we talk about this even within our business. ASAC's throwing an escape room Pittsburgh. People either give us a deposit or pay in full at the end of their event. So they've been super nice to us and just saying, hey, hold on to the deposit. We'll come back and play the escape room or throw axes whenever this stuff is done. So that's definitely why I wanted to ask that question, because I think they're, it's the entertainment industry. That's why I wanted to have this show. A lot of my friends are entertainment industry people, and I just want to kind of to get your thoughts from the wedding side, and that was really good. So now we're gonna freestyle it. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
Are you sure?
Yeah, bring it on.
Okay. So I got this skit / little thing I want to do. Obviously, if you saw the logo, it was a nod to Jimmy Fallon, OG in the game. I really like him. And they do different skits and stuff on their show. So I wanted to come up with some things, keep it fun, keep it interesting. We only got you guys for an hour today. And just, wanted to try some different things. So I'm calling this one 2-minute story time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a few hints of a story that involves both of us. And you're going to tell it from your point of view. You could say whatever you want. You could throw me under the bus. I'm just the host, no big deal. You can talk about it any way you want. But I'm just going to give you some hints. I actually have a timer on the screen. You're not going to be able to see it. All our guests at home are going to be able to see it. So it's a 2-minute timer. And the hints that you have for this story: me, you, G-Eazy, Machine Gun Kelly, Wild Boy. You got 2 minutes on the clock to tell the story. Go.
All right. 2 minutes isn't enough time for me to tell a story, but the long and short of it, in a past life at Penn State, I was a member of Lambda Chi fraternity and also the president. We used to have this big day-long, which is essentially you invite a bunch of people over to our massive backyard and have a rager. As soon as I guess got to be the person who was legally responsible for it, I knew who I wanted to call to make sure it happened. So the day arrives, we got the backyard set up, fenced off, stage is all there. Joe's got everyone moving to the music, 1,000 people in the backyard. Lo and behold, G-Eazy is our opener. He's down in the basement doing who knows what. And Joe's the opener, getting everyone pumped up. While this is going on, people get rowdy. People start throwing beer cans. I see a couple cops pull up in the back. I go out to talk to him like, excuse me, officer, is there a problem? Yes, no. They're like, you see that beer can? We see another one, that'll be a problem. Joe is 10 feet away from me on the other side of the fence. He looks back, puts on Wild Boy, stares me in the eye, and just lets it rip. Everyone's just throwing beer cans. It's a mess. I've never been so mad at him and so pleased with him at the same time in a single moment in my life. And yeah, I don't know if I made it under the time, but that's pretty much the wrap.
You did really well. You Dolans, and by you Dolans, I mean Mike Dolan, your dad. Great storyteller, but I think he would have needed 10 minutes to tell that story.
Yeah, for sure.
So you made it. There was like 27 seconds left on the clock. You actually did really good. So that was good. All right, so that was our we call that 2-minute story time. We'll see if that shows back up in the show anytime. So you're almost done. I got a few rapid fire questions I'm going to hit you, and then you're out of here, my man. All right. You ready for rapid fire?
Hit me.
Favorite adult beverage at home?
Miller Lite.
First place you are going when this is over?
Probably the beach.
Travel anywhere in the world right now, where would it be?
Anywhere in the world. Again, probably the beach. You can stay self-isolated and get some PTRs, primetime rays.
I like it. Final question, Aiellos or Minios?
Aiellos. Easy.
It was a layup. It was a softball. Corey, thanks so much. Thanks for coming on the show, brother. And I will see you soon.
All right. Happy to do it. Wish you all the best. Talk to you soon, bud.
Sounds good, man. Thanks. Well, guys, that was Corey. He was our first guest of the show. We're going to send it to a quick commercial break, and we will be on with our next guest in just a few minutes. We got Frankie Wasik coming up. Or, excuse me, Jon Ward coming up. Thanks. Good job, man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Fixed a few bugs while we were away, too. It sounds like the audio was off about 1 second. So I fixed it. We'll see if it works. What else did we fix? Got a couple more things lined up. Should be good. Unfortunately, I'm not reading any of the chat. I'll have to text you guys individually after. Or maybe look at it at the end of the night. But I got a lot going on. I got cue cards. I got people. I got live feeds. I got microphones. You don't even know. So not reading the chat. Shout out to everyone watching for wherever you guys. I'm sure it's all my family from across the U.S. And maybe next break I will read the chat. All right. So without further ado, we got our next guest. Guest number 2. We have Jon Ward. Jon Ward is a prop master and art director. He has worked on countless movies and commercials in Pittsburgh. He did the props design for Tomb Explorer and Escape Room Pittsburgh, and still works with me today on various projects at the Bank on 8th. All right, Jon. Welcome to the show, my man. How are you?
Thank you so much. I'm great. Thank you so much for having me on and giving me the opportunity to talk about my unique career choice.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's what we're trying to do with the show. We want to get people in entertainment, music, service industry, especially you, because before I met you, I didn't know what a scenic design or art director, I didn't know your position existed. And long story short, I got to meet him through, he played the Escape Room. Then we kind of started working together, and he actually did pretty much all the set design in Tomb Explorer. So without me talking, first off, tell me kind of what you do.
Oh, well, it's really interesting. I want to just step back to something you just said, because the fact that you didn't know anything about a career like mine, but you were doing it so well for so long before you met me. You had launched the escape rooms in Greenfield way before I had ever shown up and left my business card at the front desk. And but it's true. It takes an eye for design and storytelling to really pull together the environments that somebody like yourself is trying to deliver to every single customer.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the joke we always kind of came together around when we were talking about when we were in the escape room is we were talking about projects. I would ask you if you wanted Disney or Kennywood, and we would try to decide, you got to figure out where you're going to land in between those kind of two places.
That statement, I got to stop you. That statement is basically how we build and do everything going forward. As soon as he used that statement in a meeting, do you want Kennywood or Disney? And
both are great things. Both are great things.
Both are great.
Both are great things. Yeah.
Both are great. And but when you're designing a project more, and just to even get in details, when you have a budget, do you have a Kennywood budget? Do you have a Disney budget? And
do you have a Kennywood calendar? Do you have a Disney calendar? Is more like it. How much time we got too?
That's the truth. That's the truth, man. So you've been nothing but a blessing to work with, and I'm so excited to keep working with you. We're working on a project that we haven't told many people about, and we're actually not going to talk about it on the show tonight.
Okay.
We'll talk about it later.
I definitely won't bring up that super secret project that we're doing.
But we've been working on it for a while, and I'm ready for it to be done. I think people are I think people are ready to check it out. So,
yeah,
a couple months. I
agree. Oh man, it's been great though. Just like this super secret project that we're working on, and just like the ones that everybody else knows and loves from before. It all starts from a thought in your head, Joey. It all starts with the root of the story that we're going to be telling and the adventure and the journey that we're going to take these people on. And I remember it being in the war room down in the basement in Greenfield, talking about Tomb Explorer and trying to figure out, what exactly needs to be told and how do you tell a tomb story without being a haunted house, and certain setbacks that you had to overcome when you're trying to bring people into an environment. And you were so early to the game, you were so fresh to it, that so many people didn't know what an escape room was, and they really thought they were going into some sort of a overly controlled environment or overly themed environment where you were able to provide them with an adventure and a story that's going to move them from room to room and challenge them, because their intellect is on the line too within that 60 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. I can't make it sound any better. I always say, if it takes us, or let's say it's going to take us 2 months to build it, it's going to take 4 months to design. And a lot of the stuff gets changed during design. But like you said, there's months and months of planning that goes into it. And I don't think people realize it. People just think maybe we throw this stuff up or buy it online. And honestly, we build everything from scratch, and we source things from you.
Yeah.
I guess the best thing is I have a crazy idea and be like, we need this object. And Jon just scours the internet and finds it on the internet somewhere, and then we tweak it and make it ours. So,
hey, Joey, crazy ideas make the world go around, man. That's it,
man. And that's why I like having you in my corner, because I'll say the most goofiest stuff, and it'll be off the wall, and you'll be like, we can make this work. I got a guy, and there's no such thing as no. It might cost too much, but we'll figure out a way to do it.
Hey, you just hit a good transition there. There's no such thing as no. And in the entertainment industry, you find a lot of times where people are trying to pull off designs, pull off ideas, pull off stories they want to tell without the time or the money to be able to do it. And that's where the creativity really comes into test and really comes in to digging into that personal toolbox and trying to figure out what you can pull out to make this project the top quality delivery that you really want to deliver to your customers and to your patrons.
Yeah,
it
totally
really
agree.
is.
Totally agree.
It's the same thing whether it be working on on film, commercials. I got most of my background was in working in professional theater, where storytelling is essential. We need to keep butts in seats for 3 hours, and that story needs to be really engaging and really, really tight. So we want to make sure that every element comes together. And what's really great with the setups you have in your escape rooms, and even in the axe throwing you have set up in this super secret project we're working on, the lighting design, the sound design, the environment, the ambiance, the patina, everything is coming together because we want people to walk into a fully realized environment. You really try to deliver something where people feel separated from their day-to-day life. And I think coming back out of this little situation we're in right now, being able to go somewhere really fresh and really new and really kind of envelop yourself in something different will be a welcome experience.
Yeah, totally agree. And one of the words or phrases I've been using from the beginning, and you've basically alluded to it the whole time, is an immersive experience. Whether they're coming to do axe throwing or an escape room or VR, we want them to be immersed. And that was something that we discussed literally for probably, meeting 0, meeting 1. And that's what Disney does. You go into these you go into these theme parks, and the different areas are just totally immersive. You don't think you're in the world right now. And I think, and I hope that, leading off what your point, that's what people are going to want to do when all this stuff is over. They're sick of being in their houses, and they want that immersive environment. They want to leave, they want to escape, normal for an hour, for 2 hours. And that's why I'm so excited to be in the industry that I'm in, and I love doing it, and I love working with you. So
yeah.
All right, man. Moving on to a personal side of things. You recently bought a house in Hazelwood. How is it?
Yeah, my wife and I bought a 120-year-old house in Hazelwood, Pennsylvania, right on the Greenway. We got a beautiful big backyard full of wildlife and nature going on, and we just moved in February, so it's been incredible having all this space and all these endless amount of projects that need to get completed around here.
It's never ending.
Being home has been, sort of a secret blessing to be able to get through that honeydew list pretty quickly. We recently switched out our Pittsburgh potty in the basement, which is a classic for the area.
You didn't keep it?
We upgraded it. You got to keep it, man. I made it look classy. It looks like Magnolia Home. Joanna and Chip came over, put some wainscoting, some shiplap up in there. It's looking great. So I think it's going to be a really, really great home for me and my wife. We just recently adopted a puppy, and we have a 9-year-old dog also. So we just have a big yard and a big house and a lot of love here to share. So
that's
really
awesome, man.
Yeah.
Good for you. And yeah, you kind of hit the nail on the head. It's never ending projects. When you own a house, there's always something to do.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see what else is on our list. What do you and your wife Heidi enjoy most about living in Hazelwood?
Oh man. I definitely think, we've really been enjoying being really close to Mill 19, which is a Carnegie Mellon campus that recently opened. We're able to go down there in this time and do walks around and see the wildlife. We saw a bald eagle. It's right down in near downtown Hazelwood. So we also can swing by the La Gourmandine Bakery and maybe get a croissant or something for the walk.
Can't go wrong there.
Can't go wrong. It's great. It's an essential bakery. You got to have that open. And they do great work. So we're able to go down there and just our neighborhood in general. I know you had some family that lived right in our block and grew up in this area. It seems like every person we meet has lived here for 30, 40 years and just loves it here. And we love it just as much.
Yeah, that's awesome. My grandpa, the chief, shout out to Chief. He actually lived down below the tracks, kind of like where they're building that greenway. On a street, there's still a street there, but there's no houses. So shout out to Chief. He grew up there. So I always claim like I'm 0.01% Hazelwood.
Yeah, there you go. That's fair.
All right, so back to work. What movies and productions have you worked on in Pittsburgh?
Oh man. It's I guess it's got to be set up appropriately. When I moved to Pittsburgh, I was working in theater, and my first project to work in film was actually a Christmas cell phone commercial with Sidney Crosby, which is pretty crazy. And I didn't know who he was. He was a really nice guy when I got to hang out with him. And then I moved on, worked on a couple movies during that whole phase when we had Dark Knight here, things like that. I had great opportunities working in the theater community too, all around Pittsburgh. And then moving back, I moved to Los Angeles and moved back to Pittsburgh. And since then, I had great opportunity to work with Netflix on Ma Rainey's Black Bottom and tons of great commercials for big, awesome brands like Walgreens and Dick's Sporting Goods and a whole lot of great companies that I have a lot of fun working with.
On all of the production sets you've worked on, what has been the most outlandish request?
Oh, man. I think a lot of them I wouldn't say they're outlandish, but they were very unique and big budget were on Netflix production of Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. We worked on that this summer in the north side of Pittsburgh, but we made it look like 1920s Chicago. And making it authentic and having the real vegetables and the real blocks of ice and the
old cars and trucks.
Old trucks, old cars. It really transported us back in time. It was amazing.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So obviously, I got a skit plan for you.
Oh no, what's up?
If you were watching the show, we had a little segment. It was called 2-minute story time.
Okay.
Are you ready for 2-minute story time? The way it works is there's a story. It could be about me. It could be about you. It could be about both of us. You got to tell that story. It's from your point of view, and you have 2 minutes to tell it.
Okay.
By design, I've been picking the longest stories possible and seeing how good storytellers you guys are to summarize it in 2 minutes.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you some hints, and then I'm going to throw it over to you.
Okay.
So your hints for the story are California, waiting in line with your family, Drew Carey.
Oh.
2 minutes. Go.
Okay. 2 years ago, it's really timely that you bring this up because 2 years ago, I was fortunate enough to be blessed with tickets to go to a filming of the game show The Price is Right. And the reason we got those tickets was because my fantastic wife got them online and my parents were in town from Maryland. And this is during the time we were living in Los Angeles. So we needed something to do. And we got free tickets. We waited in line for 6 hours. It was hours. We got there at 6 a.m. and we did all day. We were hungry and tired. And you just wait in line with all the other contestants and all the other audience members all day long, and you make great friends, some of which I still follow on social media and things like that. And so we get in, we get our seats, and I got called down in the first round. And I got to go down, and I'm in contestants row, and I lost. And I lost. And I lost. And I lost. And
1 minute remaining.
Finally called up, and I made it on the stage with Drew Carey, which was incredible. This is a lifelong dream, as I'm sure for many people. I was literally living in a fantasy in that moment. And I played the first game, and I won. I won a car. I won a Nissan Sentra. And then, and then I got to go spin the wheel, but the wheel, both people in front of me overspun. So I automatically went to the showcase. I spun a 20. And I went to the showcase, and I ended up winning a trip to Europe, which I went to this week, 2 years ago. And I won another car, which was a Ford Focus. And I won a car stereo system, which I sold to a dude on Craigslist. How'd I do?
You did good. 17 seconds left.
Oh, okay. It was really stressful, and I understand why everybody hugs everybody when they run down the aisle, because you really make great friendships with those people while you're waiting in line, and they're from all over the world. It was incredible. So, yeah, it's one of the most incredibly life-shaking events I've been through so far in my existence on this
That's
earth.
awesome, man. Yo, the first time he told me that story, I was like, I had chills. And it's a much better story. It's a 10-minute story.
Yeah,
but,
it's crazy.
He gave the condensed version. And
So I got one thing to say. Did I tell you what we named the new puppy?
I saw a picture, but I'll let you do it.
So we named her Plinko after the game on The Price is Right. So we'll make sure to get her spayed or neutered and, to help control the pet population.
Shout out Bob Orger.
Hey man, thank you so much for talking with
anytime,
me.
Anytime, man.
Awesome.
Thanks for coming on the show. Hopefully you had a good time. Tell Teddy I said what's up.
Hi everybody. I will, absolutely.
All right, we'll see ya.
Bye guys.
Thanks,
Take it
Jon.
easy.
Jon is an absolute legend in his field. So I can't thank him enough for taking some time out of his day and coming on the show. We have one more guest and a little kind of surprise at the end. So we will see how that goes. We're going to get our next guest, Frankie Wasik, on the hotline. So give me a couple minutes to get that fired up. And thanks again for tuning in, guys. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. I know the audio is lagging a little bit on YouTube. Unfortunately, I can't fix that in the middle of the stream. So, like I said, just kind of bear with the glitches as we have them. And by we, this whole studio full of people. I will get that fixed for the next one. So that'll be probably a whole day of just trying to fix that one bug. But we got our next guest lined up and ready to go. Joining me from Shadyside, we have Frankie Wasik. Frankie Wasik is a very good friend of mine. She has worked in the service industry for years in various positions like Seven Springs and 9 on 9. Frankie and her family own the restaurant Frank and Francis in Shadyside. Frank, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thanks for having me. I'm great. How are you?
That was good. That was a hyped intro.
Hell yeah.
Well, first off, thanks for coming. Were you guys busy today?
Yeah, and I'm sorry. We literally had to shut the phones off to do this. So we're sweaty, we're hot, but we're here, you know.
Yeah, so she's currently open for takeout, and the last couple days, she's just been telling me it's been crazy busy over there, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
So I'm glad. When I told her, I was like, hey, Frank, can you do 8:40 on my show? And she was like, you mean like prime time? Like when everyone's
Like when
ordering?
my kitchen closes?
So I appreciate you coming on the show. So tell us a little bit about your journey from working in the service industry to now owning a restaurant.
Well, it's a journey, I will say. I got my first job in the restaurant industry when I was at Duquesne with you. I got hired as a hostess at 9 on 9, which is it was a restaurant downtown, very well known. I got hired by Courtney Crawford, who is still a role model of mine, owns businesses, strong woman, and Tolga, who owns Meat Potatoes and that. So they both hired me. I started off as a host, then dishwash, then food runner, all the bad, fun jobs. And I thought it was just going to be a college job, and I fell in love with it and kept getting sucked deeper and deeper, even though my mom hated it and my dad hated it, because who wants their daughter to be in the restaurant industry? But my mom grew up in the restaurant industry, and my dad's family funeral home business owners. So we were about the small businesses in my family, but I never thought I would end up here. But
Yeah, you know, you were bred for this. You didn't have a choice.
yeah. All I need is a funeral home down the street.
That's coming next year.
We'll feed you and bury you.
There's some synergy. I'm already like the wheels are already spinning. You could have
Catering.
the wakes, catering.
Yeah.
I mean, the brain doesn't turn off. All right. So obviously we've talked about your family has always had a knack for food. When you get the invite for Sunday dinner at the Wasiks, you drop everything you're doing and you go eat. Anytime I get graced with the invite, I'm dropping what I'm doing. I'm going. So how does your family, just like you said, having some background in food and business, how has that influenced your menu at your current restaurant?
Well, it just hasn't influenced the menu. It influenced the whole structure of our business. I mean, we do Sunday dinners, like you said. I grew up with them. We sometimes fed 30 people. It was such an amazing family structure. And when we got this opportunity in our lap, which actually started with us talking about maybe bringing something to Homestead, and just having that Sunday dinner every week, and the family, like me and my mom and dad are such yin and yang, and we all want the same goal, but we all have different aspects that we're good at. And I feel like that Sunday dinner, that's a family, and we're bringing it into a business. So, my mom's the amazing genius cook and the life of the party. And when she walks in the dining room, everyone's like, "Hey, Sue." My dad is the most genius man I've ever met, and he helps me and my mom try to not butt heads. And
were you paid to say this? No, I totally agree. Both you and I, we wouldn't be where we are at without our parents. They're definitely driving forces. As much as we hate them at sometimes and butt heads, like you said, at the end of the day, we do love them.
We all have the same goal. It's just,
it is. It's just different approaches. And I talk with Frank, at least once or twice a week, just about business and, the problems and the ups and downs and dealing with our parents. So, it's kind of ironic how full circle it is.
I mean, we talk about it, we fight, about stupid stuff, but like I said, we all want the same goal. We have different, attributes that we're bringing, and it's working. And, it's so nice to see me, my mom and dad do something together. And my mom has like this life about her, and she's just killing it with this menu. And it's so nice for people to come back every day and be like, "Is this Sue's recipe?" Like, yes, we know it is. It's Sue's. Even though it says Francis, this is Sue's.
I do. I want to compliment you, especially recently on the menu options, and we'll get to that in a sec. When I announced that I was having you on the show, various people were texting me and calling me, and they're like, "Frankie's open? They got takeout?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Well, what's on the menu?" I'm like, "I don't know what's on the menu. Her mom has new stuff every day. I can't keep up on it. Follow their Instagram. It's popping. They got great food photos." So that's a great segue into our next question. So you guys are currently open for takeout. What are your hours and what's currently on the menu?
So we are open from 4 to 9 every day but Monday. And you can order online, which makes it really easy. And we'll bring it right out to your car. We're doing the contactless. We have our hand sanitizer in the back that I actually stole from Josie. Sorry, Mr. Deasy. So we're doing that, and every day we have the staples. We have salmon, we have meatloaf. So our whole concept is we'll bring you a full meal. It's not a la carte. Like, you're getting bread, salad, you're getting hefty portions for a good price. So that's what we're doing right now. We have meatloaf, chicken and waffles, shrimp and grits. We have chicken tacos, and we started doing Frank's menu items. So we have the animal style burger.
Flame.
We got these shrimp steam buns that people are like,
my favorite item on the menu.
And then we just did new wings, and they're honey sriracha, and the wing flavor sauce made by Anthony is fire. That's the new term, fire. So,
shout out Anthony, aka Tony Montana.
Yeah. So it's been so nice. Since we've closed down, it's just been me and my mom in the kitchen, and my mom is just bringing it back to the roots and what we're here to do. So
I was literally just going to say that.
This quarantine is a terrible thing, but it's really stripped us down, and it's allowing our, good side of us to shine, because that's all we have right now is me and my mom.
Yeah.
And so it's a really interesting, sad time, but it's been amazing.
Yeah, and that's the name of the show, Intermission. We're just taking a pause, getting back to the roots.
To improve,
Yeah, just getting the set ready.
Yeah.
All right, I got one more question, then I got a little game for you. No, it's not the egg game from Jimmy Fallon, but that's a good idea. I might have to set that up for next week.
Hey.
So if you could have any chef, dead or alive, cook for you,
You
who
know
would it
the
be?
answer.
I mean, I'm the one that asked you the question. You got to answer it.
You know it. It's Anthony Bourdain.
Anything like specific you would make for you, or just be like, hey, run wild?
So it's a funny story. My dad actually gets confused for Anthony Bourdain when he was still alive all the time. It's a running joke with my family. And I started falling in love with Anthony Bourdain because of his weird story. His book's amazing. His quote, you know, your body's not a temple, it's an amusement park. Enjoy the ride. I just love him. And I never see him cook as much. He's always watching other people cook. So I want his ass to cook for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. He was an absolute legend, still is a legend.
Yeah.
You got me his book. I still got to read it. And
You can read it?
well, now with all this free time, I will read it.
No, you're creating shows.
I know. Well, I had all the gear, so I had to use it. You know, it's a win-win.
Right.
All right, so with our little to end, we're gonna have a little fun segment. This is if you were watching the show. It's not the 2-minute story time. Did that?
So I got you a box though. So I knew you were going to throw a game at me that I wasn't comfortable with. So I want you to open the box, and there's a few parts to this. Be gentle with it.
So this was dropped off at my house
While I'm working.
10 minutes before the show started. I'm nervous. You got to know Frankie. You got to know me. This could be anything.
It's
I was going to say this is a PG show.
yes. I know our moms are watching.
I hope there's nothing bad in here.
I'm surprised you didn't open it.
You said don't open it.
You don't listen to me ever.
Well, I'm trying to change pace. Oh my goodness.
All right. So in the package is a few components.
I can't tip it.
There are 2 green tea shots chilled for
Okay.
you.
1 green tea shot. 2 green tea shots.
There is a bottle of champagne for you and Alicia to celebrate after.
Oh my god. Oh, this is legit. On ice.
Yes.
You can't make this up.
No.
Shout out Alicia Keys. She's my executive producer.
Hell yeah.
She's been working with me. I'm like, does the audio work? Does it not work? So, shout out
Okay.
Alicia
So
Keys.
this is the game we're going to be playing.
You come on my show and we play your game? Is that how
All
this
right.
works?
So I have my own eggs as well. And that container contains questions. So they
Okay.
are from, what's it called? Are you smarter than a 5th grader? So I had...
This is way better than my game. I'm just saying.
Is it?
This is way better than mine.
I fixed it. Okay.
We're not gonna play my game.
In the container, there are instructions for you, but I can just say them.
All right, so I got a container of instructions, bottle of champagne, shots,
And you should have an answer key.
and eggs. I need to unravel these eggs, correct?
Yes.
All right, this is getting dangerous. Champagne will go right there.
So basically, while everybody's waiting for Joe to unravel these eggs, there is a dozen eggs combined with me and Joe.
Okay.
Each of us have 2 raw eggs, and we have 4 hard-boiled eggs. Sorry, Alicia, you're going to have to clean it up. So, you are going to pick a question out of here. You are going to read it and answer. I have the answer. If you do not answer correctly, you have to pick an egg and smash it on your head. It might be raw, it might be not. If first person to crack both raw eggs loses and has to take a shot.
This is aggressive.
Oh, it is. I have head protection. No, I don't. I thought I had a hat.
I'm allowed to open up this instructions?
Those are yeah, it's just for you, but I explained it.
Okay, 1 dozen eggs. 4 eggs are raw, 4 hard boiled.
Yeah, but total. So you have 2 raw and 4 hard boiled.
Okay, take turns smashing eggs on head. if you answer a question wrong. Oh my gosh. Okay. All my questions were made by
my cousin, so I don't know.
Okay. First to smash 2 raw eggs loses. You didn't cheat. I find that hard to believe. Additional equipment.
I actually didn't, but I got
Additional
a hat
equipment.
one.
Drop cloth.
I try to find you one. That's the one thing I messed up.
Okay. Let me go get some towels. I like it. I'll do it. Hey, I'm not gonna say no to a towel.
I got a hat. I'm gonna save some of my
I did my hair. This is the first time I did my hair in like 2 weeks.
This is really good for your hair. Egg yolks.
Okay. All right. Let me go get 2 towels.
Quick pause. Quick intermission.
Stand by.
I'm nervous. I'm gonna get the raw egg. I know it. Right first. Did you put all raw ones on? Are they all raw? Well, guys, hope you're enjoying this. This is gonna be great because Joe doesn't know, but his are all raw. I'm so nervous. Will you pour me some so when I lose? I just got a text. Love how you spiced up the show. Hey, Joe. I know you. Hi, Bree. And Danielle, thank you for telling me to stop touching. Bree, we can hear you. I know, Bree. Like, what are you getting? A raincoat and parka? You know, it was a real surprise when he had to get ready for this. Like, he did not know this was happening at all. But this is our friendship. He said, I'm literally in tears, J-Bo. Hi, J-Bo. Danielle.
I was just saying, if this was in Jimmy Fallon's studio, he would have PA setting it up.
Well, where's Alicia? I just wanted to see her.
Alicia, the executive producer.
I'm getting so many texts about how they can't wait for you to just mash an egg.
Jacket's coming off.
Said it.
The jacket is coming off.
I'm sweating. I'm really nervous. And the thing is, I washed my hair last night. That doesn't happen often.
So what? It's the first person to crack 2. I'm gonna just go on my knees because I don't want to. I don't want to get this. I don't want to get this. I have one suit, and I wore the suit.
You want to do? Yeah. Don't take it. Okay. Do you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
I'll go first.
I forget how I did this. Okay.
Oh wait, answers. What I gotta do? I gotta read a question.
Oh shit.
But I'm allowed to. Well, PG show. We have kids watching. So we have the answer key I'm allowed to look at.
Yes. They're answers to my question. So I'm going to read my own question and I have to answer it.
Okay.
All right. So I'm on question number 3. So don't
question
tell me
number
the
3.
answer. I should know this because I was really smart, but I freaking don't. The interior angles of a triangle always sum up to what? 45. Nah. What?
Yo, no outside help?
No, there's not.
Okay.
It's a 45-degree angle, right? Or 90. No, 45. So 45, 41. 135?
135 is incorrect.
Shit!
180 degrees. PG
I
show.
fucking, oh, I knew it.
PG show.
I know. Sorry.
They're going to take us off cable. All right.
world. Okay, you're
I
up.
love how set up this is. For all
I'm sorry.
I got 6 eggs ready. I'm gonna crack on my head.
And only 2 are raw.
Yeah, according to your rules.
33.3% repeating. Repeating percent.
Okay, I got question number 6.
Oh, I have to look.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, you got an angle one too!
Math is easily my worst subject. Opposite angles and a parallelogram are called.
This is 5th grade stuff. We should know this. We're business owners.
Didn't know it in 5th grade. Didn't know it now.
Look at you now.
Opposite angles and a
Just
parallelogram
crack it.
are called. Yeah, I don't know.
Was it hard boiled? Oh,
I don't know. I feel like there's still some stuff on it. Oh,
they're pretty
jeez.
hard boiled. I ate one.
Okay, we're off to a great start. Tied at 1.
All right. What are the 3 states in matter? Solid, liquid, gas.
What number is that?
Number 1.
Oh, that was so easy. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Heck yeah. All right.
All right. The United States, the United States and Mexico are separated by what river?
Not the wall.
The United States and Mexico
I think this is a 4th grade question. I dumbed it down.
are separated by what river? I have no idea.
The Rio Grande. That was 4th grade.
Okay.
Oh no! I'm waiting. Anthony definitely gave you all hard-boiled eggs.
All right.
All right.
I mean, do I lose? Like, I just cracked 2 over my head. I thought first 2.
No, they weren't raw. They'll smash. You're gonna get a runny
man.
egg.
I got more guess.
All right.
All right, 2 more. All right, let's do this. 2 more questions each.
You have more guess.
You're kind of blowing out my scene, but I got DJ PDC and DJ TJ. We're gonna close the show out. A little
All right,
5-minute
let's go.
segment. 2 more questions.
All right. But what do you call a group of cows? Crows.
What question is it?
7. They're not a flock.
A murder. You lose. Crack an egg.
Okay, go.
Oh my goodness. Can you just put one technology question in here?
No.
How many months in a calendar year have exactly 30 days? I have no idea. I'm gonna say 7.
4. Crack. I'll be quick.
This, I don't know what it is. They're like, I don't know if all of them are half boiled, but like it's still oozing.
There's water underneath the shell. All right, other than water, what is the most consumed beverage in the world? I'll say milk. It's not going to be milk.
What question number is this?
6.
T. Crack an egg.
Oh! You missed.
All right. Maybe I have a chance on it. That's great. Screenshot that. Oh, that's nice. You should wear that out.
All right, go.
Final question. I'm going to move on. What ancient civilization built the Machu Picchu complex in Peru? It's either the Aztec or the Mayans. Machu Picchu.
They're both wrong.
They're both wrong.
Yeah, they're Incas.
Oh.
Come on, crack an egg, buddy boy. Are you kidding me?
You got all 4 of them.
You did that.
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, there's still stuff leaking everywhere.
Do another one.
No, I'm out. I gotta go on to the next people. Frank, I got 4 final questions for you. This is called rapid fire. All right, favorite fast food?
Subway.
Okay. Favorite adult beverage, no wine?
Martini.
Okay. If you could travel anywhere in the world, where are you going?
My family's beach house.
Final question, G-Eazy or Machine Gun Kelly?
MGK.
Love it. Frankie, thank you so much for coming on the show. Clean up, and thanks again.
Bye.
All right, we'll see you. Bye. All right, guys, we're going to get ready for the next guest. We got DJ PDC and TJ, the DJ, closing out the show. Just a couple more minutes, and then we'll be done. Thanks for tuning in, guys. In the commercial break, I'm going to be cleaning up my house of egg yolk.
The live stream. Where is the background one again?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We got our next guest live with us. We have the legendary TJ the DJ from Star 107.
Hey, pal.
The legendary DJ PDC. Thank you guys for coming on the Intermission show.
Thanks for having us.
Hey, buddy.
Glad to be a part of the inaugural show.
Well, the reason why I want to have these guys on is we wouldn't have this show without these two. We've been working on Pete's show for the last probably like a week or two, and it's been some long nights till 2, 3, 4 in the morning getting all this gear set up.
Oh, yeah.
So that's kind of how this show started. Pete does a weekly Friday DJ show, and he was like, "Hey TJ, hey Joe, you guys want to be on the show?" And we said absolutely. TJ has a really cool radio setup where he records his Party to Go mix every Friday, right, TJ?
Friday and Saturdays, 10 till 1.
So that's where he records it all right there in the Bat Cave, as Alicia was calling it.
Bat cave.
So we got a couple
Compliments on the lava lamp, Joe.
Yeah, we had to do
Oh yeah, I know. I fired mine up, but I haven't had it on long enough. It hasn't quite got the
There it is. There it is.
Probably just diving right now once they saw those lava lamps. Looking like the stock market after coronavirus.
Just running out to buy
straight
one
down.
Oh, jeez. I don't know. Did you guys see that last segment we did with Frankie?
Hilarious.
Yeah, it was awesome.
He saved the
smells
show.
Oh yeah, actually, I have a note about that. I'm really kind of mad that I didn't get any green tea shots. I feel totally left out, Frankie. So
Seriously.
Frankie, can we get some kind of delivery service on shots for both of our
See
shows?
that new Uber delivery? Basically, you can pay Uber to drive like someone's stuff across town.
Yeah. I think it's awesome, and we were literally going to use it. All right, so we'll give a little behind the scenes of the show. When we were setting up for Pete's show, literally probably about I don't know, let's say the day before, we were doing audio checks. My computer just turned off. Long story short, I tried to fix it, put new operating system on it, everything, couldn't get it to work. We're an hour before the show, and I'm like, Pete, call Pillar, his driver. I'm like, run a laptop down. I was like, I need a laptop at my house to DJ. So we were able to make it work. We didn't need Pillar, but something like that service that Uber had, that would have been great.
Yeah, we could use
Pioneering, right? Pioneering? Is that what it was?
We're just a couple pioneers out here.
Pioneering, yeah.
Also, DC definitely called TJ DJ TJ too.
Yeah, I heard that too, by the way.
Wait, are
hilarious.
you DJ TJ or is TJ Curran TJ the DJ?
Seriously, ask me that question.
No matter how many times
Hey,
I try,
so
go on.
This guy.
This one night I'm DJing, and this girl comes up to me. I think I was at Villa,
Yeah.
and she had like a little bit of an accent, but she came up and she's like, "Excuse me, are you DJ Pettick?" And I'm just DJing. I'm like, no, that's not me. And they were like, "You're not Pettick?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not Pettick." And then I was like, "Oh my God, she thinks PDC is Pettick." And to this day, DC calls me DJ Pettick. So it's all
Nice.
It's stock. Well, yeah, sorry. It's first show, stumbling and bumbling, but hey, we're still moving.
Hey Joe, let me tell you how bad it's getting in my house. I'm using Absolute vodka now.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's
The
bad.
Tito's is gone. Yeah.
Bottom of the barrel.
When I saw Frankie there with a full bar behind her and a kitchen and then sending you shots, I was like, really? I thought, Pete, aren't guests supposed to get like a gift certificate and some drinks and stuff when we go on a show?
Yeah, man, I ain't got nothing here.
I'll tell you, this guy's terrible.
Hey,
I'm
the
telling
swag
you.
bag, it's in the mail. Just keep looking for it.
That's it. Swag bag. Put it with my stimulus check so I know it's coming.
Oh man! All right, so we got a couple segments in the show. I want to get right into it. So have you guys seen the Bill Clinton meme with him holding up the albums?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to turn it over to you guys. Basically, there's a meme that all the kids are doing these days, and you could go on this website and pretty much put like an album on. It's a picture of Bill Clinton holding albums. I don't know how the people on the internet come up with this, but the internet's undefeated. So I want to turn it over to you guys. We'll start with TJ. What is the 4 most influential albums that impacted your life and your career?
It kind of reminds me that Clinton's sitting there like Mr. Rogers holding like albums and his, people want. It's like
hilarious.
when Mr. Rogers is putting his shoes on. That's the image. If anyone hasn't seen it yet,
Yeah, he looks kind of creepy too.
it looks like he's sitting there with right where you put the sweater on, like Fred Rogers. The most influential albums for me are probably really oddball ones. Is this based on what I grew up with or overall, Joe?
I'm turning it over to you. So whatever you want.
I grew up in a household that ran the Saturday Night Live soundtrack on repeat for about 3 years. So that's got to be one of them.
Okay.
I mean, all I remember was my parents playing the Bee Gees all day long. I love Queen, so anything from Queen. I mean, I couldn't pick one. That'd be 2. Journey's Greatest Hits is one of the first CDs I ever purchased, honestly. And yes, because my Uncle Ted, who died a long time ago, about 10 years ago, was my most influential person in my life when it came to teaching me how to play the piano, drums, tech. He wasn't even alive when I was DJing on the radio, which really, really upsets me because I wish he would have saw that. I think he would have been pretty impressed with what his nephew got to do tech-wise. But he was a humongous Yes fan. So like I would go see King Crimson with him and Bill Bruford and Alan White and some of the drummers, and John Anderson was a great singer. So ironically, those are like something I don't even talk about that because people are like, what? But yeah, those are probably like the 4. I couldn't pick an album cover. It'd be like the greatest hits of all those guys because I can't pick a
I
track.
know, you love someone that much, it's hard to just pick.
Yeah,
one
you
out.
can't really
Yeah.
do. I mean, there's
And
a
like
lot of people
for
that
something
say,
different.
The meme has
Yeah,
it has 4 albums. So I mean, you hit all all wavelengths.
yeah,
So
you
I
have
think that's
to hit
good.
all of them. Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, but
Pete?
literally those are probably the ones that I mean, obviously, like Saturday Night Live soundtrack is a bunch of people. Everyone thinks it's just the Bee Gees on there, but it's not.
Yeah, it's a mix of people.
There's a lot of cool disco that was on that track, and I think the coolest part about today is you're seeing like Dua Lipa bringing back the 70s, and you're in the 80s influence on the latest Weekend track, is with the saxophone. I mean, so it's really
The
cool in
samples are hot.
2020. Just to see the things that I love the most coming back to pop radio and dance radio. So
That's awesome, man.
no yes yet, but progressive rock can stay in the 70s right now. It's fine.
Pete, you're up.
It's 4. Man, this is so hard.
I know. You have to do it.
I was thinking about it a little bit. I'm just going to try to cover like different genres of music I like. So number 1, we'll go hip hop. So Nas, Illmatic, one of the most legendary hip hop albums of all time. The first Source, what was it, TJ? 5, was it Stars? Whatever the Source thing was. Mike's, whatever.
The first one, yeah, they got 5 stars. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, considered a perfect album. Then we'll go Stevie Wonder, Songs in the Key of Life.
There you go.
Can't go wrong.
And Joe and I actually saw that concert the last time Stevie Wonder performed it front to back. I got a good story on that later. Next, we'll go Fleetwood Mac, because my dog's name.
Oh, that's a good pick.
Probably
good pick.
Rumors. My sister and I were actually just talking to Fleetwood Mac albums the other day. It was funny, but I think Rumors is my favorite. It's got a ton of fidelity. It's actually an album that a lot of sound guys use to sound check. Like if you go to like a concert or something early,
Yep.
for whatever
It hits
reason, there's something
every
about
frequency.
that album. It has like the range and the way it was recorded. I don't really know, but that's always been like a audiophile record. And then Sublime. I love Sublime. So we could just pick anyone, like 40 Ounce of Freedom or something like that. Is that 4? Yeah, that was 4. So yeah, that's it. Stevie Wonder. We'll do Nas, Illmatic. We'll do Sublime. We'll do Rumors, Fleetwood Mac.
That's
Good picks.
I like it.
A little bit of everything.
I like
Now
it.
I want to drink.
All right, should we throw the After Dark up?
Where's the barcade?
Oh, and sorry about the chat being disabled. Like I said, first time doing this, Still don't know what's going on.
You know, I got a list of pointers for you.
Oh, here we go. Why don't you do them on air?
That was one of the ones at the very top.
That's funny.
It's weird setting it up in this YouTube studio. There's just so many different check boxes, and honestly, some of them were wrong that I corrected like right before the stream started. So that's a whole different subject. But to stay on this 4 albums, I actually have the image, and I did it with the Bill Clinton. And I went, we'll go in order, probably from least important to most important. There are, you guys still got audio in this slide? Maybe not. We will cut back to you then. So on that slide, I got My Chemical Romance. It's one of their first albums. I don't know, high school album. You're talking about, bringing you back to a certain part of your life.
Oh, there you go.
Is that the one with Helena on it, the big hit?
Yeah. It was.
I like that song. I wasn't the biggest fan of that band, although I liked a lot of those bands. But I always got down with that song.
I try to do this where albums a point in my life, and that was definitely a high school. I don't know. It just it really when I thought about this, I was like, I have to put My Chemical Romance in there. Next, I'm gonna go Bruce Springsteen. Shout out to my dad. I put the Greatest Hits album. Not really one specific album. Obviously, the generation above us probably can have a specific album, but there's not one that really rings to me. I like the Greatest Hits, so I chose the Greatest Hits. Shout out to my dad. He really likes Bruce. Quick story about my dad and Bruce. We've been to every Bruce concert, I think, that he's been here in town with. And Bruce has a stage that goes out into the crowd. And we're up in the 100, Captain Morgan section. And Bruce goes to the edge, almost right in line with us. And he points up to the crowd, and my dad points at the same time. And I'll never forget that moment because he was, my dad's a pretty chill guy. He was he just got handed $1 million. There was his eyes were so wide. He goes, Bruce, he saw me. So it was just a really surreal moment. And
if your nickname's the Boss Man, enough said. Yeah, Born to Run, probably my favorite. That was a 70s stuff, and then obviously Born in the USA was the 80s stuff. That was I like both those albums a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why I picked the Greatest Hits. I mean, you can't pick one album. Next up, Bruno Mars, easily the best entertainer.
Who
I've seen?
Who?
Bruno Mars.
Bruno.
I know you don't like him, but he puts a hell of a show on. I think I saw him in Philadelphia.
Who doesn't like him? We love Bruno. Bruno.
My mom compares a concert to a Prince show, and she says her favorite show was Prince. So live.
Wow.
And it was legendary. I mean, just the whole entertainment, theatrics, lighting, pyro, sound, the dancing, the whole package. I'm not saying it's the greatest music ever, but definitely one of the best shows I've ever been to. And then finally, with a curveball, I went Dirty Dancing. The soundtrack. Pete just cracks up.
I'm surprised it wasn't Creed. That's all.
I know Creed.
Dude,
Creed's number 5. Creed's 5.
Just that specific song. That's from my boys' bachelor party, and they were all watching. That was last week's show.
No, Dirty Dancing was a good soundtrack because Time of My Life, obviously. TJ, Hungry Eyes was on there by Eric Carmen.
Yeah.
And
She's Like the
there
Wind.
was one by there's another big one. I can't think of it right now.
She's Like the Wind.
Yeah, it's just got
True.
some hits.
Wipeout. Some Kind of Wonderful. Some Kind of Wonderful's on there.
Yep.
Otis Redding had a song on there.
Yeah. Yep.
Good one, Joe.
Yeah.
Good pick for
I like this one, Joe. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
And, we have the advantage though, Joe, I guess because we have the Greatest Hits albums, so because we're far removed from those. So when you say best album, you're like, I'm gonna cheat and just say Greatest Hits because honestly, it's they're there. I mean, they are albums. So
absolutely, I cheated. So I want to have you guys talk about. Well, Pete, obviously you got your show tomorrow, DJing, and TJ. I want to talk about kind of how we set this up from all the time we had put into this, the streaming. Obviously, we have really cool setups. Everyone's seeing the Instagram lives, and you saw the Babyface one. Teddy Riley was an absolute debacle.
The remake, the makeup was great though.
Yeah, it was good. But I'm trying to stress to the viewers how much time we have in this, putting this together. It's not just one camera, it's multiple angles, it's audio feeds, it's getting a whole DJ rig plugged into your computer. Obviously, my video is out of sync on YouTube, which is like a whole different video and technology thing. But I just want to have you guys talk about it, setting it up. TJ, we'll start with you.
I mean, I got to actually thank Petey for kicking the ball rolling, because I've been sitting here in limbo for the last 4 or 5 weeks, like most other people, looking for something to do. And we've got tech on top of tech sitting in closets, and Pete came up with the idea of, streaming Friday. I know he redid his entire basement from one week to the other. He's got himself an actual Tonight Show desk, Joey, and he's just missing he got a lava lamp, but he's still missing the fern. I said, you need some greenery.
Oh, I got something, by the way.
Oh, did you get one? Okay. But I think the three of us still are a little bit more tech savvy than the average person. So we have some things like I do my radio show from my house for the last decade. So I've been prepped to do this. I've got camera. There it is. I've got a backup system. Obviously, you're seeing your stream behind me. And I mean, a lot of people don't understand, like, I do my radio show from my house.
Yeah.
Produce it, mix it, host it, everything's done. And I pipe it up to the radio station from here. And, for me, this is just kind of like second nature. The video part of it was intriguing. And then I don't know if anyone else saw what Pete did on Friday, pulling Joey and myself into his streams, as a satellite. I had a bunch of DJs tell me on Tuesday night, they went, "You guys did what?" I mean, even DJs that I work with, mix show DJs around the country, were like, "That's pretty impressive." DJ Q, DJ Scooter, Riddler. These guys were like, "You guys are doing what?" These are guys doing Twitch streams nightly, Facebook Live nightly, Instagram nightly. And they're like, "That's a pretty brilliant idea." And it's like, yeah, we were providing the content. Pete got the URLs from where our streams were, put them into what you're doing, like an OBS split, stream, made some scenes. A lot of work on Pete's part to get it all and keeping it rolling. Just like it's a lot of work on your side. You're seeing, pulling in all these guests and doing things. But it's a lot of work, but it's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why we keep doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just about, for me, I've always prided myself on having a polished product. I won't do anything half-ass. I won't do anything if I don't know what I'm doing. We were up 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning for about 10 straight days, even last night. I've been doing, because I want to keep learning and I can't shut the brain off. So I want to see how to keep doing it. I'm putting 4 cameras in my rig. I'm going to do a multi-camera behind me. There'll be 3 cameras. I've got the lava lamp cam, obviously, which you can't see. This is the main cam. Learning how to do angles, learning how to do building different templates. So when people don't have to stare at a DJ behind turntables for 4 hours just beating a head like this. It's great.
The word, Pete? Production quality.
Production value.
Production value.
Yeah. But behind the scenes, though, Joe, like we said, was, investigating hums and hisses from different wires that we're using, or not having enough wires. And during this pandemic, you can't just go on Amazon and expect it to be showing up 1 and 2 days. Prime right now is a month out for some things. I got USB extenders in 2 days, but I got tripods that won't show up here for a month.
Yep.
Logic webcams. There's a webcam shortage around the world, so people are getting 3 to 4 times retail for cameras right now, if you can find them.
It's crazy.
So, I think the three of us were a little bit ahead of the game. We had cameras, we had microphones, we have each other, and honestly, the three of us, I think our brain power was really what got us through some of this stuff, was beating the ideas off each other. Hey, will this work? Hey, will this work? And trial and error, and not being afraid of throwing something on a wall and see if it sticks. And I know that's why most of the time, we're friends for a lot of reasons, but having those ideas together to knock off each other to see if something works. And I think you said we came around 90 some hours of work last week, right, to put that Friday night broadcast together.
Yeah,
I think that's right, like 30 hours each.
Yeah,
on all of our ends.
Even more.
And to realize we didn't physically see each other to do any of that. So that's the other thing that was pretty interesting.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, I know, right? Because I didn't shower. I wore the same shirt for 4 straight days.
I'm ready to be in the DJ booth with you guys. I'm so bored.
It's the same thing, right?
Yeah. All right, Pete, over to you. Pete, what do you think about, give me your point of view, setting all this stuff up, future of this, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's fun. We had all this stuff, which made it cool. There's definitely like a trend right now with these live streams from DJs to musicians to like you mentioned the other day, like global touring artists. So it's fun to kind of get involved and do it our own way. And even if it's just on a little local scene or whatever, it's there's levels to everything. So just like with DJing or business or whatever, just trying to swim in our circles, and figure it out kind of on a local level. But yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be heading here for a little bit. There's already been a lot of digital events. I know there's some like virtual proms and virtual corporate events happening right now. I got approached about this like virtual recess for kids' schools because they're in school online all day and they want to have maybe a DJ play for 20 or 30 minutes after lunch to get them all riled up. So I don't know, man. It's weird waters, but it's definitely soul fulfilling for me to be able to DJ, even if it's just for 60, 70 of my friends on YouTube or whatever. And same thing with joining this interview. It's just something to do, and it's fun, and it's good to reach out to people and connect. And I think it helps take people's mind off everything going on for a little bit.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And that was the whole reason why the show was created. Just one, and that's what we've all agreed from the beginning. We're at home. We're just trying to make some entertainment for people, and what a time to be alive. Got a couple more, one little skit left for you guys, and maybe a couple questions, and we'll wrap it up. Let you go. If you don't know, we've been plugging it the whole time. Pete's doing his live stream tomorrow. He got Wiz Khalifa's DJ Bonix playing with him tomorrow. Anything special you got lined up for tomorrow?
No, just you can check it out on my YouTube channel. There's a live link on there. It's also on my Instagram, DJ PDC. And we're going live at 9:00 Eastern Standard Time, and we're gonna rock for a couple hours and just play fun music and just hopefully have a good time.
And have adult beverages.
Oh yeah. We try to keep it PG on this show, so definitely on Friday.
Have child beverages.
Yeah, Friday and Saturday, definitely. No laws when you're drinking claws. Okay, our final skit of the night. TJ loves this one.
Oh, jeez.
You love this one. The senior photos. Everyone's been doing it.
Everyone's
been doing it. They got the senior photos that people are posting them. I don't even know why. I mean, I get why they're doing it because the seniors aren't graduating, they're not getting the recognition. But like, post a picture of your senior year to give recognition to somebody you don't even know. It doesn't make any sense, but we're using it as a gimmick on our show. So I had everyone.
So you had to run, Joe. You had to run behind the desk and take one for now. Is that what you did?
I did.
Because you got the suit. You have the suit on. I figured you were doing that. Okay.
So funny thing about that logo, I put this suit on this morning just so I could take that photo and Photoshop it into the logo. It was really weird. But anyways, needless to say, we're here. Pete, you sent me your senior photo, class of 2005 Central, up on the screen. There you go. Let's see who else we got. We got mine, class of 2009 Central, and I weirdly look like you.
Wow.
And our favorite one of the night, we got TJ senior photo. TJ the DJ, class of 4000 BC. We did that. We did that on our last show, but nobody saw it, so we had to bring it back out. So all right, that's it. Well, boys, I want to thank you guys for being on the show. Any closing remarks?
No, great show, man. Nice job.
Catch Petey's stream tomorrow. It'll be fun. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll absolutely be tuning in. I've tuned in every week. It's so much fun. Shout out to Stevie Wonder, a.k.a. Greta in the background. She probably gets more viewers than Pete does.
Oh, for sure.
All right, sounds good.
Well, dude, great job, man. Wonderful first show. Thanks for having us.
Joe, it was fun.
Thanks,
awesome.
man.
Thanks for having us on, pal.
We'll definitely have you guys every week on doing this if you're available. Sounds good, guys. We'll see you, man.
Later, man. Enjoy that.
All right, guys. That's it. That's the whole show. Only 41 minutes past when I was supposed to wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. The guests, they were phenomenal. That was so much fun. I got a ton of people that were already hitting me up that said they want to be on next week's show. I'm going to try to do it every Thursday. I think Thursday is a great day. We got DJs like Pete and other people playing Friday. We got Nugget playing on Saturday, so I definitely don't want to take away from their streams on Friday and Saturday. I really like Thursday. It kind of gives you something to look forward to every week. We definitely had a good amount of viewers I was happy with. I'm sure a lot was family and friends. And I'm still sweating from Frankie's skit. I don't know how I didn't. I definitely got some egg yolk, but I just feel like some of them were like half cooked. But it's all over me, or at least all over the ground, and luckily not on my only suit jacket. So thanks so much for tuning in, and until next week, we'll see you guys.